this past weekend we officially wrapped up the regular season for the NFL. We're on to the playoffs officially. Finally, it's a long season, but very good season though. Very bizarre, but it was just entertaining though. Especially the ending we had for the very last regular season game we saw this past Sunday night, which we'll get into shortly. But yeah, 9:30 start because Bonnie's play tonight, but we lost. We're 0-2 in conference play. Yep, so we're not feeling a good start though for the A10 play. We're already 0-2 in conference play. So yeah, lost to Richmond tonight. So they get back another home game this Saturday. We're just gonna see how they play in that one. But yeah, my Buffalo Sabres. I guess last time we were around here, they won their 10th straight game, last week. But now their winning streak snapped over the weekend against Columbus. But they won last night. They bounced back after a loss. After winning streak, they beat the Canucks last night. Good first two periods. The third period, we never up 4-0, and then we just gave up 3 unanswered. We kept after put it away, but it was kind of an ugly third period. We still managed to win. So yeah, those were your games there. Let's recap, the college football games that we had during that last time we were on here. Obviously, we talked about some of the bowl games before that. Obviously Texas beat Michigan, Iowa beat Vanderbilt, Utah dominated Nebraska, Duke beating Arizona State. But obviously, the biggest upset. Let's recap the college football playoff semifinals. Again, not semifinals, quarterfinals. Miami upset the national champion Ohio State Buckeyes. So Ohio State is done. Miami's defense dominated that game. I did not see it coming. So yeah, the Miami Hurricanes advanced to the semifinals. Meanwhile, Ohio State won and done. Let's recap the other playoff games. Oregon shutting out Texas Tech, winning 23-0. So Oregon's defense dominated. Offense was a little bit shaky, but still, their defense did enough to win. Not allowing a single point against Texas Tech. I thought Texas Tech would have a better defense, but wait, Oregon showed that, hey, we're still a better defense still. They were a better team, so they won the Orange Bowl in that one. Of course, Cotton Bowl won by Miami. The Rose Bowl, the Granddaddy Bowl, won by Indiana. Indiana's still undefeated. They beat Alabama, and it was not even close. It was a dominant win. A 35-point beatdown of Alabama. That was probably Alabama's worst loss probably in program history. Worse in a bowl game, too. That's one of their worst losses. Just the margin. Indiana's just a dominant team. And it showed. They beat one of the college football powerhouses in Alabama. And Indiana won the Rose Bowl. And then the Sugar Bowl, Ole Miss won again in Georgia. That was probably the best game out of the quarterfinal round of the playoffs. Back and forth. Goodness. But Ole Miss, safety and a field goal. And they beat Georgia. So, yeah, Georgia choked this one. I just could not believe it. So, pretty much being a top 4 seed, no safe. Indiana's the number 1 team, and they showed it why. That's the only team that had a bye and they actually won a game. It's not safe being a top 4 seed after having a first-round bye. It's not safe at all in this college football playoffs. That's what makes it more interesting. We had some bowl games, on Friday to finish it off. It was Texas State beating Rice in the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, so they won 41-10 dominant fashion. They're such an explosive team. So they won their bowl game there. Navy winning the AutoZone Liberty Bowl by beating Cincinnati 35-13. They took care of business, no problem. Naval Academy wins that game. Wake Forest winning the Duke's Mayo Bowl, winning 43-29. Mississippi State made it a little bit interesting, but Wake Forest putting up 43 points. That was enough to win. And their transfer quarterback, Robbie Ashford, he just finished his college career with 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Good way to go out for sure. He's been through so many schools, but Wake Forest was probably his best, probably all his career of college football for sure. And SMU winning the Holiday Bowl in San Diego by beating Arizona, number 17 Arizona. So SMU finished strong there. Arizona made it interesting at the end, but wasn't enough. SMU took care of business in that one. What NFL team I like? I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. Josh Allen, man. MVP, hopefully 2 years in a row. Probably not. Well, I'm a Bills fan. But let's recap the NFL now. Week 18 is in the books. Let's go over last week's games before we get into this week's picks. And also before we preview the college football playoff semifinals. Kansas City. Yeah, that was a rough year for you guys, but I think you guys come back stronger. I think once Mahomes is back, from his injury eventually, I think next season, I think you guys will be better. So I thought it was a rough year for you guys. But I know you guys will bounce back. You guys got a great coach still, and Andy Reid as well too. I know you guys will find something. You got gotcha. Well, let's recap Week 18. Panthers, Buccaneers. Buccaneers beat the Panthers, but we'll get in that scenario shortly. I mean, we have the Sunday ones, but yeah, that's what kicked it off. Buccaneers winning 16-14 over the Panthers. Seattle beating the 49ers. Seattle Seahawks beating the 49ers to get the NFC West division title and the number 1 seed in the NFC side of the playoffs here. So congrats to Seattle. Congrats to Sam Darnold and Jackson Smith and Jigba. That's Seattle, but not just their offense, but their defense really was the big story in that win over the 49ers, a 13-3 game. The Packers Vikings, ugly game, but it was like a preseason game. It was a meaningless game for the Packers because they're already in the playoffs. They're resting guys. It was like the Vikings Super Bowl. They should have won by more than that, but it shows how much of a bum J.J. McCarthy is and Max Bromster too. They both suck. Vikings don't have a good quarterback. They just need something better than those two, and then they would be a Super Bowl contender. But yeah, it is what it is. Packers lost that one, 16-3, but now they get focused on the playoffs now. And I'm just glad that the Minnesota season's over. I'm done watching those purple idiots. That's how much of a bum J.J. McCarthy is. He's such a bum. He's such a bust. And then the Vikings should never get rid of Sam Darnold. Now because Darnold's in the number 1 seed for the Seahawks. Doing great things in Seattle now. Texans beat the Colts 30-30, but they didn't cover the 10.5 spread, so I won that pick. Cleveland beating Cincinnati. Myles Garrett, what's even better about the Browns win is Myles Garrett got the sack record, a single season sack record there. He breaks Michael Strahan and TJ Watt's record, so he's the all-time leader in a single season for most sacks, 23. I mean, congratulations, Myles Garrett. I mean, well deserved. Probably one of the best defense players like in this generation, but maybe one of the best all time up there. But still, he deserves it for sure. Just wish it could have happened the game I was at, in Week 16 when the Bills played the Browns in Cleveland. I wish I would have saw it in person. I wish it would have happened there. The Giants beating the Cowboys dominant fashion. They finished on a strong note, so Jackson Dart's gotta be happy about that. I can't see what great things he brings to the Giants eventually, but I know it's tough for the Giants, but still, I'm excited what Jackson Dart's gonna do, especially when Cam Scatterbo gets back healthy. And the Falcons beat the Saints, which means the Panthers got into the playoffs because the Bucs needed the Saints to beat the Falcons, but the Saints didn't take care of business for them. Didn't take care of business. They lost. So, the Carolina Panthers are NFC South champions. They're NFC South champs. So Carolina is in the playoffs. Tampa Bay's reign of dominating that division is over. It's just such a weird season the way how it's been. Jacksonville, no problem. They clinched the AFC South with a win over the Tennessee Titans, 41-7. Trevor Lawrence, the last month, he's played some really good football. And the Patriots clinching the 2 seed with a dominant over the Dolphins, 30-10. Raiders winning 14-12 over the Chiefs. I thought for sure this was an easy win for the Chiefs, but the Raiders still get the number 1 pick despite the win. I mean, I'm surprised. How you doing, Weeks? I'm glad everyone's tuning in, for this, especially because it's playoff time. But yeah, and the Lions, that was my one upset I knew was going to happen. The Lions beat the Bears. I knew Dan Campbell was going to play hard. I mean, you got to have his team ready, even though they're not in the playoffs. But I knew he wasn't. That's a good point. I like that. Detroit will be better. I like that point. That's a good point. Detroit would. And I think they'll be back next year. They definitely will be. Just a rough season, a lot of injuries, but they're still a great team. Well coached too, it's the Dan Campbell rating. I like that. That's a good take for sure. The Buffalo Bills winning their final home game, final time in the Highmark Stadium before the new one opens next year. So they had to say goodbye to their current stadium, and now, of course, next chapter. I mean, unless we play the AFC Championship game against the 7-seeded Chargers, but we'll see. But yeah, Very emotional for that fan base, because that stadium's been around for 53 years. A lot of great memories, including obviously the greatest playoff comeback of all time that Bills Oilers won back in the 90s. So yeah, good way to go out. But the thing is, they didn't even need Josh Allen to win that game because they rested Josh Allen, and Mitch Trubisky just went off. I mean, but it shows how terrible this Jets team is. Even a college team could beat the New York Jets. That organization's so bad. New York Jets, like the last almost 2 decades. But the Bills dominated that one. They didn't need their starters to go out there and just dominate the Jets like that. On the Commanders, beating the Eagles, spoiling the Eagles' chance of getting a 2 seed. So Commanders pull off the upset there, which means the Bears get the number 2 seed now. On the Rams made a statement beating the Cardinals there to secure the number 5 seed. And the Broncos clinched the number 1 seed in the AFC, beating the Chargers 19-3. Figure that one. But now let's get into probably the best game of the week, probably the game of the week, Week 18. Let's get into that game. How great that was. Ravens Steelers. Oh my man, that fourth quarter was insane. Just that whole sequence was just nuts. I just could not believe this. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, did not look like a 40-year-old quarterback out there. I mean, there's times he could have, but he just balled out like the prime Aaron Rodgers. At times it felt like the original Aaron Rodgers. It felt like it. Especially that fourth quarter, just getting his team, and they just back and forth. Lamar was throwing. It was definitely a battle of quarterbacks. It was a really good quarterback matchup for sure. I mean, it started out slow in the first half. Let's see. It was a slow first half, no doubt. Low scoring. It was like 10-3. Ravens leading at halftime. See, Lamar Jackson opening drive gets the Ravens on the board, 7-0. Finds Devontae Walker, 30-yard pass. And Luke made a field goal, 10-0. Chris Boswell made a field goal, but they had a chance to get a touchdown, but they made a bad play call decision. It made 10-3 at halftime. Third quarter, Connor Hayward gets a gets a touchdown. He scored a 1-yard touchdown. A little help from his brother, Cam Hayward. And Boswell get a field goal, get the lead there. But that fourth quarter, let's get the fourth quarter. I mean, Lamar Jackson throws a 50-yard bomb to Zay Flowers. Gets the Ravens the lead back. The next drive, Aaron Rodgers gets a good drive there. Kenneth Gainwell gets a 2-yard rushing touchdown. Steelers retake the lead. And then Lamar throws a 64-yard bomb to Zay Flowers. I mean, another long touchdown pass to Zay Flowers. I mean, Ravens retake the lead. But, Aaron Rodgers finds a way again. Hitting Calvin Austin for a 26-yard touchdown pass here to get in the lead. But Boswell missed the extra point. I thought, oh, goodness. I mean, it looked like the Steelers were going to lose that game, especially because Lamar converted on 4th down to Isaiah Likely. I thought for sure they had it won. They nailed it. And then Tyler Loop, field goal attempt. He missed a 44-yarder. Like, wide right. He shanked that one badly. And the Steelers winning that game 26-24. That was my pick of the week last week. I won that. It was a risky one, but it worked. Man, what a game that was. I just feel bad. I just feel for Tyler Loop because, I've seen it with Tyler Bass missing a field goal against the Chiefs the one year in the playoffs. Just keep your head up, Tyler. That's like I say. Just keep your head up, man. Just don't let the fans get to you. Don't let the NFL fans get to you like that. You've had a great rookie season. And then what's even crazier, the Ravens 2 days later after that loss, they fired John Harbaugh. They fired their head coach. And I knew there was rumors going around like hours before that. No, that's not happening. But I cannot believe it. John Harbaugh is out of a job. We already had other coaches fired, during Black Monday, but this is the day after it. He also had Raheem Morris gets fired hours after his game, Then you had Jonathan Gannon of the Cardinals get fired. Kevin Stefanski gets canned. And then the one that kind of surprised me other than John Harbaugh was Pete Carroll. After one season, the Raiders let him go. So a lot of coaching vacancies. We just got to figure out who's going to fill those spots now. Who's going to be the new head coach for each of those organizations. Of course, we had 2 firings during the season. It was Brian Dable for the Giants. And you had Brian Callahan, for the Titans, So yeah, a lot of job opportunities. But I think John Harbaugh is going to find a team eventually. I know he's going to find a new job eventually. I know he will. But yeah, let's get into the college football picks here this week. We got the semifinals of the college football playoffs. Got one game tomorrow. It is Ole Miss and Miami. Who would have thought those two would go at it? Who would have thought that? It would be one of your matchups. It's the Fiesta Bowl. How you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, Miami. This is kind of a tricky one because they're both playing with chips on their shoulders for sure. I mean, Miami. I mean, after missing the AC title game, they just fired up. I mean, they think about like how they missed the playoffs last year, but they made it this year, and they showed why they deserve to be here. They're one of the most dangerous teams in the playoffs right now. Their D dominated Texas A&M, and their defense beat Ohio State. They still got a good quarterback in Carson Beck. But I'm gonna take Ole Miss in this one. This is a great story with Ole Miss right now. Lane Kiffin gets the new job at LSU. They're doing this without him. They beat Tulane, no problem, and then they found a way to beat Georgia without Lane Kiffin. They don't need him. So I'm going to take Ole Miss to win the Fiesta Bowl tomorrow night. That'll be tomorrow night, 7:30 on ESPN, so you don't want to miss that one. It's a 6 and a 10 seed. And the much anticipated rematch for Friday's playoff game is the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Is Oregon versus Indiana Part 2. These two met like early in the year, back in October. It was it at Oregon, and Indiana beat them 30-10. I was surprised, but Indiana showed why they're for real. They beat Penn State also. They also beat Ohio. Penn State had a down year, but still they won in Happy Valley, and they beat Ohio State in the Big Ten title game, and they just dominated Alabama. So Oregon, I feel like they're not talking about as much. I mean, Oregon deserves some respect too. Don't get me wrong, but I gotta stick with Indiana, especially after that performance. What they did to Alabama last week in the Rose Bowl, I gotta take Indiana. They're riding with some momentum. Although this quarterback match would be great. Fernando Mendoza and in the Oregon quarterback, they're more they're both like projected to be the top 2 picks in the NFL draft. So yeah, it'll be exciting. Just see how those two quarterbacks play. But I like the Hoosiers to win this match. So that's my prediction for the national championship. Ole Miss and Indiana. That would be just such a great national championship. Just no powerhouse this year. That's what I like about this year's college football playoff format this year. It makes it more interesting. They really did a good job. The committee did a great job this year, just because what we're seeing. But now let's pick our NFL games this week. It is the wild card weekend, Super Wild Card weekend. It starts Saturday at 4:30. It is the Rams at the Panthers. Yes, I know Panthers are forcing a higher seed, but for a losing record. But these two met already once, and the Rams lost to them. But this time, I think the Rams are going to have no problem. They're going to have no problem with the Panthers this time. They're going to take care of business this time. They're not going to lose 2 in a row to this Panthers team. No way. Especially how dominant this Rams team is. Their defense has been great. Their offense is so explosive. Matthew Stafford having an MVP season. So I like the LA Rams to win big. To cover 9.5 in my spread pool. So I like the Rams. It's not going to be even close, that game. And the Saturday night game, this one I'm pretty excited for out of the Saturday slate of college football in the NFL playoff games is the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears, the oldest rivalry in the NFL. These two go head-to-head in a playoff game. Last time these two met in the playoffs was the 2010-11 season. It was the NFC Championship game where the Packers ended up winning that Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. So this is round 3 this season. These two teams already met twice already this season. Packers won the first one at home. And the Bears winning in a crazy one, a miracle win over the Packers in Week 16. So, this one's a tricky one to pick right now, I will say. This is a tricky one. I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers one. I think this is an upset pick. It's my upset pick right here. For some reason, I just feel like the Green Bay Packers are going to win this one. I just don't trust Chicago. They're having a great season. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't trust. I don't trust Chicago in a playoff game. You cannot trust the Bears in a playoff game at all. So he was going with the Packers homer. Yeah, might be, but I just can't trust the Bears. They're just frauds. Next game, this one I'm really excited. Well, being biased, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. The Bills versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Gonna be a great game. You got a good quarterback match. You got Josh Allen, who won the MVP last season. You got Trevor Lawrence, who's having an incredible year. Especially the last month, he's dominated. what kind of scares me worse is that Jaguars rushing defense. That running defense is gonna be that's the key. James Cook's got to figure out a way to get some good carries, but also you got to rely on Josh Allen a little more in the passing game if you want to have success in this game against the Jacksonville Jaguars too. Defense for the Bills got to step up a little more. Defense has been just up and down all year. But I'm going to ride with the Bills. I just feel like they're getting a lot of disrespect lately, especially by ESPN. Everyone's saying, like, oh, Bills are not the same as they used to be. They're just doubting them. They think, they're not, yeah, Jacksonville's a great team, but I just feel like they just keep forgetting. Josh Allen's got more playoff experience than a lot of these quarterbacks in this year's playoffs. So I'm going to take the Bills to cover 1/2, and that's my pick of the week here. Buffalo's my pick of the week. You heard it right here. They're going to take care of business. They're going to go into Jacksonville and just shut the media up. Give me the Bills. And the 4:30 game on Sunday, right after the Bills game, is the Eagles and 49ers. Last time these two met in the playoffs, they had a lot of beef between them. There was a lot of, bench fight, too. We had a fight between those two teams. They've had some beef. So I'm going to take the Eagles this one because I think they have better defense. Much as I would like to take the Niners, but after what I saw, their offense did not show up at all. Although they played against the Seattle defense, they're playing against another elite defense, the Philadelphia Eagles. So I got Philly in this one, especially at home. Philly's going to have no problem in this one. They're going to find a way to stop McCaffrey. They're going to hold him in check just like Seattle did. And win this one. So, yeah, I got the Eagles to cover 3.5. And the Sunday night game, the LA Chargers at the New England Patriots, a 2-7 matchup. Man, I really want the Chargers to win, but I just don't see it. Their O-line is depleted. They're just so beat up on the O-line this year. A lot of injuries, especially. Just Herbert's going to have no help at all. So I'm going to take the Patriots in one, but it's just because Drake May's having a great year. Oh, what about tomorrow's game? Oh, yeah. I'm going to take Ole Miss. I'm going to take Ole Miss to beat Miami in the Fiesta Bowl. I'm right with them because it's a story without their coach now. Hey, right. I like that. You're agreeing with Instagram making that pick. But yeah, I got New England though over the Chargers as well in that one. And Monday night, to finish off your wild card weekend, wild card Monday, it is the Houston Texans at the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is such an interesting matchup just because Houston's got the number one defense in the NFL up against a 40-year-old quarterback. Oregon and Indiana. I'm gonna take the Hoosiers. Much as I like to take Oregon, but I just think Indiana's just such a complete team, especially what they did to Alabama last week. I'm riding with the Hoosiers. Indiana's gonna take care of business against Oregon. They're gonna beat them again. That's my picks of the playoffs for sure. The college football playoffs. Indiana and Ole Miss will place each other in the national title game. But I find it so intriguing because Aaron Rodgers, a 40-year-old quarterback, up against the best defense in the NFL. I like that. Run a parlay. I think I'm gonna do the same thing too. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'll run it too. I'll probably run some parlays on the NFL playoffs too. I'm gonna do both of me. Yeah, I'm just gonna have some fun with some bets this weekend for sure. Who do I take in the Monday night game? Oh, I'm gonna take the Steelers. I don't know why. The Steelers have had such a good track record, especially playing Monday Night Football in their home stadium in Pittsburgh. It's just crazy. That's one of my other upset picks. I could say I go to Pittsburgh in this one. Just because Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs, and plus Pittsburgh on home field on Monday Night Football. They're a dangerous team when they play on Monday nights. So yeah, I'll take the Pittsburgh Steelers to win this one. Those are my playoff picks. If anyone missed that, I took the NFL playoffs. I took the Rams, the Packers, the Bills, Eagles, Patriots, and the Steelers. Those are my wild card picks. And I hope everyone enjoys their weekend. Enjoy this weekend's NFL playoff games, but also the college football playoffs. Tomorrow, the semifinals. You don't want to miss both those games. They are both going to be great matchups tomorrow. Thursday and Friday. You don't want to miss those college football playoff games. So we'll see you all next week when we talk about the divisional round. And next week, we'll also find out who's in the national championship game. We'll see you all next week. Enjoy the week.